Susan wanted me to give you guys some business cards.
Yeah, yeah.
There's probably not a business card.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I know. And he seemed like a people person. I went and spoke to him for about 10 minutes.
The chair's not hitting my leg, right?
Oh,
I mean, he's been over there.
would be better on one of those?
No,
Probably not.
I'll just sit.
I know how that can be. This chair sometimes is not hit right. I ended up buying a whole nother cushion that because it was just a flat
Susan
foam
wanted
piece.
me to give you guys this. Susan
you.
is our consultant.
Okay,
so she
yeah.
does that, so that's her right there. And she called me up and said, "Hey, can you guys
Thank you.
you and the other Susie?" I'm like, "Absolutely."
Yeah, that
And then one day he's here.
I'm really glad to hear that there's somebody consulting in there because it's I mean,
Oh, great.
I thought about doing the job myself at one time in the past, and but there's no way, no
I can't
way,
believe you
no
guys
way.
that much done.
He just started
Back,
yesterday.
back even when
wow.
Patty took over from
That's
Laura,
cool.
I had already
You can hear it.
decided.
Have they started the
No,
path?
what's that?
Nice. It's the YouTube. He has it on YouTube.
Okay, YouTube,
Yeah.
Etna Green, YouTube?
Yeah, Edna Green YouTube.
okay, that's just all you have to look up, is Etna Green on
So I
YouTube?
can just sit right here, just leave it there. Just leave it.
Just leave that there.
That's fine.
You don't need to worry about anything.
Maybe
If
just
anybody
gonna
gets
sit
on
closer to you?
anything.
Oh, scoot on over. As long as I can scoot over closer to you, we can all get together.
Live stream, and then he'll have a copy of it out there.
Are you doing?
I
Are you
can-
looking?
I can-
The page,
Look at-
people can just click and get right into it.
Fantastic.
You have to have the agenda out there for him, and you have to
Okay.
have the,
Not too bad.
Okay.
digital out there, so he'll categorize all that and have it out there for people.
YouTube.
You'd be surprised that up until probably year ago, I had never been on Facebook. That I avoided it like the plague. That Robin was on it, I thought, I don't have time for it, no. But I figured I've got to learn how, could you write down what I need, write down on here what I gotta do to find it, what the search, would you write that on here? What I have to search in order to, on Facebook?
Do you know how to get into it?
For there's a lot of things I don't know how to get into on if it doesn't come up, I've looked for different things and it's just.
Well, it's just, Town of Etna Green
Town of Etna Green,
is the Facebook page.
Town of Etna
Yeah,
Green,
that's all.
is like
Just
okay,
like, there's one out there, Town of Bourbon.
okay. And then then it'll have on there the
Well, when he gets it all set up and out there, it will be,
yeah, but that's where I'll just, then it'll have a place for the
yeah,
meeting.
I just,
For the, not the,
as long as Facebook lets him, I'll tell you.
We'll just do amended for next.
I had it set
if
up.
we
where I
don't
could
get
switch
too
accounts.
controversial.
Yeah.
I had it set up
Yeah,
where I could
I know it's
switch
in
back
here,
and forth
but
to my account
I'm
to
just gonna try to-
Town of Etna Green. He made me an
Don't worry about it.
access to it that I could work
We
on.
did, I went home
And
and
Facebook
changed it,
knocked
yeah.
it off.
We just
And
got
I had
done,
to send
yeah.
them a picture of me to prove that who I was, and then then I lost it, and I can't get back into it now.
Oh, shoot.
Facebook did that,
Oh, shoot, that's
so.
You know, the one of those that
little frustrating.
Oh.
That's the big reason why I never touched the thing to begin with.
Well, Amy
Then I-
wanted me to put about the mural on Saturday. I went in to put a post out there, wouldn't let me even in it.
Well, I've been,
So-
there's so many things like with the Lions Club that is on Facebook and okay, well, I suppose I better be learning so I can be in communication with people and that's what everybody's doing
You did.
I can't just leave it up to Robin to do. Get this.
Is it making an extra one day or?
It does, it does.
Unbelievably Monday. No, we haven't rolled yet. We're on our
Sorry about that, Bill.
We both caught it.
Yes, sorry
That's
about-
yours.
yes.
That's
Oh,
your,
that's mine,
this,
okay.
I got mine.
Okay.
That's all just, I got, this here, and, actually, I don't think there's anything in this that I'm gonna need right now, so I'll just get it off the table.
Is it better?
And then I'm gonna need it. You know how that is. Then they're gonna get it off the table, cause I don't think I'll need it.
I had 5 surgeries
Then I'm gonna
on
need
my
it.
eye.
Right.
Replaced the lenses and had 20 transplants, which is a human transplant. It's to the point where I work on my computer, I have a computer like this right in front of me, and I still can hardly see it.
Where'd you have to have, go to?
Susan,
I
how are
went to
you?
Indianapolis,
Good.
they had it done.
I think that's.
Better than I was.
Yeah, and he's retired.
If I wouldn't go to
now.
rehab, I'd be a whole
He
lot
did a
better.
fantastic job. Yeah, he never
They're torturing
told me
me.
to sleep, he gave me a
Oh,
little shot.
they-
He's talking
yeah.
to me, he's operating.
You have a knee
He said,
replacement?
okay,
Just-
Gail, you're
Oh,
gonna
you
go
did?
bye-bye for a couple
Totally.
days, you won't see me. Sure enough, we
Yep.
took the cornea out. it
When I was
gone.
going into wound care,
He said, nah, you're gonna
that
see me
the
here in just a minute.
Tara Little
Put it
was
back
in there and
there.
says, oh, here comes the
There it was
terror.
again.
And how did you know that that's what they called me? Well, hey, when you come in here and you're digging tissue out and all, it's,
Well, the first
You-
time I went in there, Caleb
Steve Grossnickel
was
used
the
to do.
physical therapist, and I said, "You're not gonna torture me?" He goes, "No, not today." That makes you wanna come back.
Well, they wanted to send me the gross nickels.
and
They
then she
said,
came
"No,
in the one time
send
to,
me
with
the-"
all the instruments to do that, and she
Yeah,
said,
you about.
do you want Lanacane intake first? Yes.
But
Duh.
I never heard of this, went to 2010.
Some people don't.
That's
I
how
said,
good.
I'm a wimp.
the vision was. Instead of
Give me the
2020,
painkiller.
2010. And it was like, wow.
It's just a
25
local, Lanacane is a local
Hey,
stuff.
Kendra,
Oh my God.
what do you think so far?
Yeah.
If people leave him alone so he can paint. If people would leave him alone so he could paint.
I talked to
Oh,
her
it's
like a
just,
half hour yesterday morning.
I could sit there and read, you know, language on that wall,
You
you
get
know,
going through
before.
without
I'd
a
have to be right
nervous
up on
breakdown
top.
so far.
Oh, it's like,
Oh.
what, 30 again?
Just
25,
strive to go
that's
through,
it, right?
yeah.
Just take it one day at a time.
Exactly.
And ask for help, and that's it. Don't- Don't do anything that you don't not sure about and get yourself in trouble.
Just making my age.
Find
Did
out,
you read through
because
this?
there's so many rules and rules and rules about rules. That it,
57?
Oh,
I'm 55.
Yeah.
take your
add 10
time,
years onto it.
and that is like with the minutes.
Mine or, oh no,
Big
that's,
deal.
You guys are only
that's,
You
about-
did,
here's
do
mine.
it, do it, and do
Mine's
it right,
marked up.
you had other things to do, I mean, no big deal, I say, that don't, you gotta take your priorities.
Oh, the pump
Yeah,
station.
we were trying to get all this obviously done with your.
Oh, just back up?
Hey,
No,
this is,
no,
okay,
they-
so,
this
this is
yeah,
what
the
I got
payroll,
marked up
or
here.
the
So
accounts
read this
payable
part right here.
and
And then that is the.
you got the, what do you call
That
it?
is here,
Are you?
Adjustments.
that is the quote for
Yes.
these
Yeah,
right here.
and
Okay.
So we're
it-
gonna get away from the tabs.
Okay,
You're
you're doing good then.
Okay.
Because what has happened is
Did you
those,
have
those
any,
tablets go in holders that are about this tall,
Cards that
Yeah.
need signed,
They
pay,
stuck
pay,
together.
pay cards,
and then they
Like that
didn't
time
fall
card?
anymore.
time cards.
So we had a
Yeah.
violation.
He's already done that.
Yep, he's
Okay.
already done that.
Cause that's
So
something
we
that
have enough of these for
I've
the
done
end of
for
the
years,
year.
and
just
I mean,
like-
I was on the council for
Yeah,
so
right.
many years.
Yeah.
That's it, and,
Approve that.
yeah, since, what was
And
it,
then-
2004,
I don't know if you wanna explain that to Keith.
that did, so, I mean,
And then yes, this is the quote.
so it's
So
a, I
we
mean,
switch over
yeah,
to the
I've done a lot of
sodium.
time cards.
The
I
sulfate.
just, sometimes, different,
This is be for
Laura
both of
and
the
Patty
wells.
Okay.
get to bring
So
them
that's
out.
why there's
That-
two.
that-
There's two
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
yeah, here,
units.
need
One
these
for
signed.
each well. Or no, wait a
Little
minute.
things
This is for the
get forgotten.
wastewater. This is for the wastewater side.
We're all here to work it out.
We're getting there. This is for the sewer plant. Keith, make sure you read this part here.
Of
We'll
the,
start
of the
from there.
Ashbury report?
Yes,
Okay.
The quote at the back.
this part, read the new part here, the new items.
She's talking about this.
Oh,
this part right
old
here.
business,
No, just a second, that's the old.
oh, new items,
New
okay,
items.
okay.
Read that, and then the one at the back is the quote for that. We have enough tablets to go to the end of the year, but we need to vote on this so that it happens at the end of
To
the
go
year.
to a liquid,
To a liquid, because those tablets
that, yeah,
seized together and we had a violation because of it. And then there's another one in here for a pump that we need to vote on also.
Yeah, I mean, I bet,
That's at the wastewater.
I mean, we talked about that before about that, and
Okay.
I thought that was a real good idea to try to change that over. That yeah, we need to
And then there's
move along on that.
and then there's this one here also. This old business, we need to vote on that one too.
Sure, having the flow meter,
Okay.
water plant, caliper. It's not ideal.
All right, I'm gonna call this meeting to order, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, sorry, did I kick you?
Yeah, that's all right.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Backed up right into the state flag.
It's all right.
Okay.
Okay, we are going to skip past the approval of the minutes from June 10th because they are not ready for this meeting. So we will take care of that at the next meeting. The next thing on the list here, we will move on to approval of accounts payable vouchers. Do we have that one?
We do.
That one's probably a mess, isn't it?
We got it done. So we're
Okay.
good. We got it done. So do you need the whole entire thing or just a signature page?
I need
Just
the
the
signature
signature
page and the
page.
total
Yes.
of what
have
we
that.
are.
Yes.
Yeah, you read off how much we got, how much it is,
Okay.
and then we vote on it,
Okay.
and then sign it.
Gotcha. Okay. So the total amount is $273,958.15.
Okay.
And you would have a lot of things that are semi-annual payments that have to be in order to be that high with Winona Corp. And which we're gonna get back, and also that's why, I know that's why that number is gonna be high this month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I make a motion we accept accounts payable vouchers as read.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm gonna copy that number down first for
Sure.
273, 958, 15. All yours.
Great. Thank you.
We're gonna move on to Clerk-Treasurer's business. Would you like me to take care of that first line there?
If you would like to, sure.
Okay. Sorry to inform everyone here, Barb Wagoner resigned as Clerk-Treasurer on June 30th. So Ann Anglin has been filling in, as far as to catch up. Eileen Hall's been here helping. We also have another person here, her name is Susan also. She's from Valparaiso, so she's here doing training, to help us out to get through all this so that the bills are still being paid. The training is still going on. In the town is still, everything's happening, so nobody's gonna turn the power off, nobody's gonna turn the water off. Everything's going good. I've been over here almost every day with all of this, trying to help and get things straightened out, make sure things are happening properly. So, sorry to see Barb go, but everything that was left here, it was a lot. So that's all I had to say about it. It was just a lot to take on all at once. And we're in the process of fixing it, paying it. That's part of the reason why that was a little high too, is there was a lot of stuff that was left behind that needed to be taken care of. So
Mike, you're taking applications till the 12th, is it? For a new clerk-treasurer, and then,
Right, well, we're gonna we did it earlier than we normally do. We allow 2 weeks for the appointment process. We're gonna extend it to July 25th at 3 p.m. at the Justice Center, so hopefully
Okay.
somebody will
That
we'll file before that.
is that the end of file date, the 20?
Well, 72 hours before that is our normal policy with that.
Okay, but that would be the day of swearing in on the July.
If we have a new acceptable clerk, which we're working hard to.
July
provide for.
25th at 3
July
p.m.
25th at 3 p.m. at the Justice Center.
Okay,
And I'll
that-
do a press release on that tomorrow.
okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have documentations to, also to remove Barb from,
Do we need to sign that paperwork?
we do,
Okay.
yeah, for her to
Thanks
not be
and
on
what
the
all.
banks, exactly. So this
Okay.
is the First Merchant, bank,
First merchants, okay.
this is the
Yeah.
credit union.
Okay, let's do one at a time here.
Sure, sorry about
I'll
For-
make a motion here, Keith, let me see that.
I was just about to, okay.
Yeah, I'm the president of the council.
Uh,
Yeah, make a motion that we go ahead and sign this for First Merchants Bank, which removes Barb Wagoner from this account.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Tara.
Then this is,
Yeah.
okay, this is the Intera.
He's got it.
Okay, I make a motion that we remove Barb Wagoner from Interim Credit Union.
Second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is the Trust Indiana.
Trade that with him.
Make a motion that we remove Barbara Wagoner from Trust Indiana.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye. Most of these things, should you be signing too? I think,
I'm already on it. It's
We'll
just-
get to that later in the
Okay.
meeting.
okay.
Yeah,
No, I
that's
mean,
my reminder for
sign
you.
it, any kind of ordinance or anything, you usually, but you're not
Yes,
town clerk,
yes.
so.
Yeah.
Have to, okay, I just wanna make sure we're doing everything right.
Sure.
Already there.
Thank you.
Do you have any other adjustments or approvals?
I do. So this is the adjustments right here, that we have
You
for.
can go ahead and read them.
I'm sorry?
You can go ahead and read each one.
Okay,
Read
sure. The adjustments, the adjustment we have for here is for fast time, fabrications. The adjustment is $682.96.
For what?
Apparently, we made a mistake on, charging,
Just a accounting error on charging?
There's accounting
exactly,
error, yes.
extra,
Okay.
yes, exactly,
Okay.
yes.
That, okay.
You can go ahead and read all of them if you want, and then
Sure.
pass them down. That way we're not.
Okay, I make a motion, we approve there's more adjustments.
There's
Yes.
a lot
Oh,
more.
is
There's a
it?
lot more, Keith. Let's just
Okay,
wait
I
until
thought
they're-
this was the only one.
No,
That-
apparently there were a couple.
Okay,
Here is $74.03 for the residents, for some of the residents here. And this has all been explained to who the adjustment is and how much.
okay. Well, here, I'll pass that down, look at it. Billing pool, yeah, one. Yeah, okay.
The Indiana Highway Department for $1.28.
They want their 2 cents worth,
They do, yes.
Oh,
This is Winona powder for $1,931.17.
what the, Winona Power?
Yes, powder.
Power, yeah.
2643 for a resident, also here, that lives in town. We have J&J Quality Meat and Gulfstream for $141.22. $144.30 for residents here. We should have come out of that. For more residents that have to fill their
Okay,
fill the polls and things like that.
yep.
And I make a motion that we approve, all these adjustments here.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we're gonna do that two times.
The different just was the listing of the explanation sheets. We get a copy of to begin, they've got to look over
Okay,
as part of our packet.
okay, gotcha, earlier, okay. Will do.
More. It's summertime, a lot of,
People filling their pools.
yeah. And watering lawns and watering gardens, and
That's all I have.
Okay, we're gonna move on to ordinances and resolutions. Do we have anything like that to work on there?
Well, the salary ordinance, we had talked about that last month. I prepared an updated version,
Yes.
so I have that. I don't know if you guys wanna consider that. That's the draft there.
Do you have three of these or do you have one?
Just, I've got two total.
Just two,
Two
okay.
the same.
That's the clerk right here that I was talking about.
Oh, gotcha. I think that was supposed to be 10%.
Oh, my finger got a little crazy.
Yeah.
This is one that I'd like to table until next month, if at all possible. Let everybody take a look at it and see.
And if so, we ought to probably all have copies of it to look over until next meeting to
That's something that I'm sure Nick can get emailed out to everyone, so.
yeah.
Just think with what we've got going on with, losing a clerk-treasurer, we've got some other part-time people in here that are, need to be compensated a little differently than what that says, in there right now. You know, we've waited 6 months, so I don't really see a problem if we wait 1 more month to make a couple more changes to it to make sure that we do it properly.
And the people that are helping out are doing an absolute.
And they are doing an absolute, you're right,
They're
Richard.
going way out of their way to come in and help us.
And there has been provisions made for your insurance, if,
I'm
as
not
long
worried
as it's
about that.
amended.
It's
No,
just-
if I've already taken care of that part, so it's taken care of.
I want them to get paid.
Yes.
Finally.
Right?
Okay. Did you wanna see this, or
Um,
you have a copy of that,
do
or?
I can read it
Okay. You want this back? or-
No, that's okay. I've got the same one.
Awesome.
If we
Okay.
wanna table it, that's fine. I'll change that percentage under
Right,
section
right.
2. If the council wants me to change dollar amounts for what the pay would be to consider at another meeting, then just let me know and I can
Right,
modify
we
it.
need to modify that before the next meeting, yes. But there's one in that specifically needs modified in there, as far as that. And then you made note of that there, so.
30.
Yeah.
So yes, I make a motion that we table,
And
this
then
salary
should be-
ordinance.
This should be 10%.
It is, he's got it
Instead
marked,
of
Keith,
100%.
yes, he's got it marked. So, I make a motion that we table this ordinance until the next meeting.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're gonna move on now. Do you have any other business that pertains to anything like that?
Well, it's-
Resolutions?
It's not a ordinance or resolution. I was just gonna remind us, and I think we're good with the setup that we have. But July 1st of this year, that's when the recording statute takes effect for the
Yes.
state. So I think we're doing everything we need to do. We have to record it or ideally live stream it, upload it to a publicly accessible website. And on that publicly accessible website, there should be links to the agenda and minutes and memorandum if those are applicable.
Mhm.
And then we should keep I think that's going on to YouTube channel, is that right, Susie?
Etna Green YouTube, right?
Okay. And then I'd say at a minimum, we should keep the old recordings up there for 90 days. That'd be consistent with the statute. And then after 90 days, if you wanted to take down the old ones, you could, or if you want to leave them, then you can.
Yeah, I think Bill's gonna categorize them
Okay.
by year.
Yeah,
Gonna
I
do
say,
it by
there's no
year.
reason we can't save that stuff for quite a while. When we get older, we might wanna go back and look at ourselves.
So just a reminder about that
Right,
taking effect.
okay. We do need to sort of make it a public, so everybody knows, you know, we need to make it public of where to go find this information, so that does need to be brought out sooner or later. As far as whether or not it's that new Etna Green community page, whether it's a reach alert, or maybe we do all of it so that everyone here in town has access to this, so that everybody knows what's going on
You
here in
gonna
town.
put a link out on the Facebook page?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, okay.
And
Then
could
just
you
go in there and
put out,
click and-
get with him and put out a reach alert
I
for
can,
it?
sure.
That's a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, we're learning the reach alert now, so it's a new thing for,
but the reach alert is a great thing that the residents, I love it,
Mhm.
that if you get those alerts.
okay. Okay, we're gonna move on to fire and township business. Do we have anybody here from the fire department? Okay, I want to make a comment, something that me and Chris have talked about with the water quality that we have going on here in town. I think we do need to get with the fire department. And we need to find out which hydrants are being used to fill the trucks. And to make sure that we're not using certain ones that are around our wells. Because I think that's part of our water disruption is why we're seeing some rust in the water. And we need to make sure and address that. So I need to get with Kevin Smith, or Kevin Smith needs to come up, see the council, or needs to see somebody.
I know in
So we
years
can-
past, we had always asked and very strenuously asked for them to bill down by, like where Winona Corp's at.
Right.
That they, as far away as possible, that
Right,
they,
either there, if they
that
could,
not right down in the middle of,
right, if they could go there, or they could
Spring
go out
Street.
by the gravel pit out there, there's hydrants out there that never get used, which
Yeah,
would be
that'd be
great for them.
That'd be great.
That would be a
But-
great spot, you know what I mean, if they're gonna fill,
at the
fire
far
trucks.
reaches, that, yeah,
Yes, so that we don't disrupt our issues that we have here in town.
yeah.
So,
That now that Winona Corp's out, that was before Winona Corp was out there, so now that Winona Corp's there, I'm not sure that might not be a good idea to
That'd
use
be the best place.
their
to-
hydrants, because that would cause them problems.
yes, and they
So-
have water quality problems out there too.
So but the one out by the gravel
Right.
pit or down south over here.
With that, and to make sure that, yeah, we don't have contractors tapping into our water system to fill their trucks, so, cause that does happen on occasion,
Yeah.
so, okay,
And make sure they turn them off really slow.
right.
You
Right.
slam them, you're gonna rattle all the pipes.
Well, we got a junk one right here across the street, so it takes a 4-foot pipe to get it open, so.
Yes.
It's not good, and it's a very expensive one to replace, so. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and move on to, like I said, we'll try and get a hold of Kevin or somebody on the fire department so we can sort of go over that, update that. We're gonna move on to attorney business now, next. What do you got, Nick? We already bleed you out of everything.
I think you took it all from
Took
me.
it all, okay, so he's got nothing for us. Well, that's a good thing sometimes. Okay, we're gonna move on to new business. First one I wanna look at, it's not on the agenda, but I put it on the agenda, is we've got our Ashbury report back. We've got two things on here that we need to talk about tonight. The one is the chlorine system out at the sewer plant. Right now we utilize the tablet system, and we just had, it was a couple months ago, we didn't really make a big deal out of it, but those things all stuck together and there was no tablets going down into there, so there was a little bit of a problem with our outgoing water out there at the sewer plant. Ashbury has gotten some quotes for us. We've got enough tablets to last us to the end of the year, and then we have a quote from Ashbury here for us to go to a liquid chlorine system. This quote comes in at $2,859.14. That's going to be for 2 Steiner pumps with miscellaneous items that go along with it. 2 55-gallon drums of sodium bisulfate to get us started. We should save about 30%, 30 to 40% on our disinfectant season by switching over from the tablets to this new system. We have that one, and then the other one that is in here is an old business. We still need to have a flow meter calibrated out there. The cost for that is $1,138 to have that calibrated. It's not a requirement by IDEM, but we want to keep IDEM happy with everything that we've got going on. So if they see that we're doing maintenance to our equipment, that's going to look good for us for IDEM. So I make a motion that we approve to go ahead and have this calibrated and have that done. And then also, as soon as we run out of the tablets, that we go ahead and let Ashbury purchase the new pumps and the new barrels and everything so that we can switch over as soon as we use up what we have in stock.
Do we have enough to actually go through the rest of our season?
I think like I said, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that we approve this.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get it paid for. Let's get the equipment sitting here in case,
Yeah, that's
in
it.
case something goes on back order.
Because what you said on your motion was to have them purchase it when we run out.
Okay.
We should have that ready to go.
Ready to go so that we
when
utilize.
the season's over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Switch over.
And as far as this calibration thing, can we do that separate? Let's do the chlorine. Let's make a motion on that, and let's do that.
Right. We can make a
Separately.
motion for making
Heath,
separate.
can I make a comment?
Go ahead.
So, on the wastewater side, I think it's the proper move to switch that over to
Mhm.
a liquid chlorine. It may require an engineering review and submitted to IDEM, because you are changing the process. I can get comments back for you on that. Moving towards the liquid
Mhm.
and the sodium biosulfate, I think is a good direction for you.
Okay.
Yeah,
But this
that's
something may be that we have to submit to IDEM for a construction grant for them to review this process.
Okay.
Okay. Now, on the flow meter, it looks like in the report that is for the water plant, and that's calibration at the water plant. I think that's a good move as well.
Mm-hmm.
The simple fact is the community has a high loss water, and with that meter could easily be off 20-30%.
Yes.
So
Well,
we
that-
want to make sure that's reading correctly for your water loss audit that you guys are supposed to do annually.
okay. Because what I've understood over the years is that you can spend that $1,000 out every 6 months recalibrating it, and it never will calibrate right. That it's been recalibrated, I don't know how many times over the decades that and that, is that the one that we talked about that of possibly removing?
The
that
town
No,
replaced.
that's not the one that-
They replaced the, influent flow meter
Influent flow
at
meter.
the sewage plant, and I think that's where you were having the issues. According to this report, I don't think they have any records of that meter at the water plant
There's no-
ever
it says
being
there's-
Oh, this is at the water
This
plant.
is
Yes.
water plant, yes.
Oh, okay,
There's no-
I'm sorry, that, my mistake.
And normal
yeah.
operations probably calibrated annually to see where you are.
Yeah,
There's no,
I-
we have no records of it being calibrated at
okay.
all.
It was my mistake, I was reading this as being out of the waste plant.
Yeah.
And I know that we've been it's been a nightmare out there. Okay, yeah, water, yeah, we need to do that.
Sure.
But we ought to keep these separate, as
Now,
motions.
with that, typically, most communities, once the person comes in to calibrate the wastewater, they'll also do the water as well. And have an annual sticker on there saying this unit's been calibrated.
While
You're
they're
saying
here
set
doing
this
both.
up for
that's-
schedule is what you're saying,
Yes,
so. Because we should have had them, when they put the new one in out here, that one should have been calibrated, so when we called them in for that, we should have them do both every year.
it
Well,
may
if it's-
have, I
If
have,
it's a new one, it's usually
Yeah.
comes calibrated already from the plant, if it's a new meter.
yeah, typically, the, vendor who puts them in will calibrate it for that first time, so I don't know if that one's out the plan, has been calibrated or not.
Yeah.
I'm making the assumption that it
It
has.
has, yeah, it has.
Yeah.
I'm assuming too, so.
Okay.
Alright, well, we'll change it up here, I make a motion that we go ahead and have the, flow meter at the water plant calibrated, for a cost of $1,138.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright, second one, we're gonna make a motion for Ashbury to move forward with the new dechlorinization. As far as going ahead, and they've already got the quote and this and that, with the recommendation that we go ahead and check and make sure that we don't need an engineering or anything to change our plan. I know we are,
Should we wait to actually authorize the purchase of it until we get the clearance?
Yeah, you have time. I mean, it's not an issue. I mean,
Okay.
sounds like you have enough pellets to use up for the
to
year.
get us towards the end of the year. I just
Yeah.
don't want this to get
To get it
tabled
to
and
the
forgot
season
about.
where we don't be,
I don't
because
think it will
at a
be.
certain point, we don't use chlorine
And-
anymore.
And this may be a great opportunity because it will take an engineer to review that. What they're looking at is the sizing of the pump and what your needs are to meet your disinfection needs. Okay, that's where the
Right.
engineer's coming in.
Okay, well, I'd like to make it, to table this until we get answers back on that, for sure, but we definitely wanna keep this on top of the pile. So that as soon as we get the confirmation from IDM that we can to move ahead on it.
Well, that's why if we go ahead and make a motion to approve this, as soon as they go ahead and they get the approval from engineering, they can go ahead and move forward with it. That's why I would like
And,
to go ahead
and
and approve
IDM,
this.
that
Right, so if we
yeah.
go ahead and approve it, we're staying ahead of it, so IDM knows that we're on top of it. So, and we've had
okay,
IDM
I
violations.
because it's, I think
It's
it's a
gotta be
good
done.
idea.
Right.
Also, but I just didn't wanna get ahead of ourselves
Well, I would
on
rather,
buying something that, and then somebody come up and say, oh, you can't do that.
well, I'd rather show IDM that we're being proactive.
But
That's
but
what
on
we're
the
trying to do.
conditions of the,
Yes,
of
yes.
their
Yep,
approval and
yep.
engineering approval.
Yeah, the overall thought process is correct, and the system will work. We just need to make sure it's sized appropriately.
Right.
Okay,
Once I verify with the engineers, I'd probably propose an on-call agreement not to exceed for the community to do the engineering review process. If you're comfortable with that, I'll probably prepare something for next month.
Okay, so you want us to go ahead and move forward with this, Chris?
It's really a decision. You got plenty of time right now.
I know, I'd like to go ahead and just go ahead and show the IDM that we're moving forward with stuff, so if we already go ahead and approve to
under,
purchase some equipment, let's go ahead and get all the rest of the details that we need.
under the condition that
Yes.
nothing be purchased until we get engineering and IDM approval.
You got all that in the minutes, Ann? We'll get too
That's
much. I make a motion that we go ahead and approve for Ashbury to move forward with this process as long as the engineering with IDEM and everything goes along with it, so that we can make the purchase of this new equipment to switch over to a liquid form and to get away from the tablets.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Right.
nice.
Hey, don't tell her that.
You can always refer back to that.
Exactly.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the interim duty office, chief deputy clerk. So what we're doing here is that we're calling out, Ann Anglin is the chief deputy clerk, and she has, the financial responsibilities. She's on the bank accounts, her and Eileen Hall are both on there.
Correct.
And we're putting this in the minutes, and we're making it official, that she's gonna take care of all these, bank accounts, the payments, and everything up here in the clerk's office, until we get through this and we figure out, what is gonna happen. So,
And we've already done the removable of Barb.
yep, we've already removed her from the financials.
Okay.
In fact, I don't think, previous month that we removed Patty Cook from the financials, so I don't know that we.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah,
We did, okay, make
Yes,
sure
we
we
did.
did that, okay. Anything else you wanna throw in there, Nick?
I would just, yeah, this is a temporary thing. This is before the caucus process can play out, the process that gets followed. This is a short-term thing to fill in. I would just put it in the form of a motion so the council can vote on it.
Do I make a motion that this is what we're doing?
For short term, but yeah, but I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. What do you got, Dave Price?
I would like to know that with the shuffle that went on, the original clerk quitting like she did, is there going to be an audit of the town's books?
Yes, there is.
For
That's
the new
all I
clerk
have to
come
say.
in
Yes,
comfortably?
there is, and it is going to happen real quick.
Thank you.
State Board of Accounts always does audits. That's a regular thing to be done.
All right.
That
Just wanna
is-
make
Or they're
sure.
doing a full audit
I
this
don't
time.
want the new
It's
person
happening.
to come into a
They've
bag
done
of
full
worms.
audits.
It's
before.
happening.
That-
So,
It's, we've been through that process before.
okay, so we got that one. So the next one that we need to go in and do a little adjustment to is the walking paths, for the park project that we have here. I called up Niblock to try and move forward, make sure that we're all good. With that, Niblock was bought out by another company. It's still called Niblock, but it's bought out. They've moved. They sold their asphalt plant. Things have changed. I was told when that originally happened that our contract and everything was still good. I just called here in the past 2 weeks to make sure that we could move forward with this. And Niblock is no longer interested in doing any paving work for us. So Niblock came in as the lowest bidder.
They've
Second
always
bidder
been doing
would have been
business.
Siteworks. The third bidder was Brooks. I would like to move forward with Brooks. I've actually called and talked to them about it. They did some checking, they rechecked all their prices. They are interested, but we need to make a motion to switch from Niblock as our paving company over to Brooks. The only reason that I'm moving past Siteworks is there's some discrepancies in the aggregate and there's some discrepancies in the pavement or the tonnage of the pavement. All three of our other contractors, their numbers all match. Unfortunately, Siteworks is a little bit different. They're new, and I want to move with somebody that's got years and years of experience into this for our project.
What
So,
was the name of the company that you're wanting to go with?
Brooks.
Brooks.
Brooks Paving. And they're actually, they're in process of building an office in Warsaw here pretty soon.
Okay. And what was the bid for Brooks?
That bid was $162,498, so we're going in the hole about another $40,000 on our park project.
That was the one that was, yeah, it was 40,000 more.
Mm-hmm, it is
Plus-
what it is.
Yeah. We have to do. I mean, Niblock has always done our street paving and has always done a great job in the past, but it's, Niblock's not technically Niblock anymore,
Yeah,
so.
Mike is not there no longer.
So it's a, yeah,
It's changed.
we gotta make a change, that's,
Something
did you make a motion on that?
I'm about to when you're done
Okay.
explaining.
Yeah, okay, because I was gonna make a motion that we go with Brooks,
Okay.
approve the, appraisal of the changeover to Brooks for 162,498.
The extra 40,000, is that grant money though? or
It's
is that
grant
coming
money.
out of the ca-
It's
that's
grant money. It's
Okay.
grant money. So I make a motion that we move from Niblock to Brooks to do our paving for our Heritage Park walking path.
I'll
I would-
second the motion.
I would add something. If we're not going with the lowest cost, there's some specific things that have to be included within the minutes, and I don't know that we've got that
What do you
here.
need, Nick?
This is something that we had emailed about. I can pull it up and give you the detail.
Oh, to go, if that we're not going with the site,
Yeah, there's specific things that the council has to find to justify going with somebody that's not the
SiteWorks is a brand new
lowest
company.
cost.
It's their first year to second year in business.
and there was,
And
and
there-
the discrepancies with the
discrepancies
aggregate.
In the aggregate, in the
And the
tonnage on the
tonnage.
pavement.
Okay. Let me pull this email up. Give me 1 second.
Make sure
that
we're-
we've got everything.
Make sure we're doing it right, yes.
Yeah, I've got the paper. I can pull the papers out right here. Brooks, Niblock, and Fendon Brown's numbers all match when it comes to aggregate and the tonnage of the pavement. SiteWorks is off by quite a bit.
Okay.
And each one of these here in these packets has a ton of references from all of these projects they've done. Brooks just did Creighton's right here on Old 30 just not even a month ago. So you can go out there and take a peek at what their pavement looks like finished. SiteWorks is very new to this program, and that's why, like I said, I want to go ahead and go with a very experienced contractor.
Okay. I think you would just need to add that you find that Brooks would be the lowest responsible and responsive bidder. And if the council finds that, then you can go with them. And I think your reason for that could be because SiteWorks, the numbers that they provided to you are not adding up.
Correct.
So I would just add that to what you're talking about.
So I need to add that we are going with Brooks Paving because they have more experience with and their numbers are correct as far as the tonnage and everything that we need for this project.
Yeah, and that the council finds him to be the lowest responsible and responsive bidder for the project.
Okay, the lowest responsible bidder for the project.
Okay.
Responsive and responsible.
Then we're good with that added.
We're good.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. I'm gonna bring a recorder so I can record you.
Just hit playback.
Right. Go ahead.
Do we have any idea when that's going to start?
You can't
Yeah,
do it
the more
until we get to
this
approve
happens and the more this is prolonged, the later it's going to be. I told Brooks I would like to have it done this season as far as that goes, which I'm going to have to go up and talk to Greg and Jeff because it's going to get into the football program, but I don't know what to do. If we drag this out, we requote this again next year, it's only going to go up and it's only going to cost more money. So, like I said, I talked to Clay Brooks or whatever. He was sort of a little bit excited, you know what I mean? He's like, well, we're really busy, but yeah, let me check. Let me see if we can get it worked in. So he's excited to get this one under his belt too.
So hopefully
And
this year.
hopefully this year. That is the plan, yes. Because
The
I have
first-
other grant money that has to be spent by next spring. So if I don't get this paved now, we're going to lose out grant money next spring because I don't have a walking path to put all my fancies around that I need to spend on this project.
And this is
So-
the first step of getting
Yep, we got
getting this approval, getting this motion approved to changing to the contract. That it wouldn't start until we approve this. So that's, now we go from there.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to old business. What do we got? Anything interesting? Well, you're new, so you don't have new
I
business.
definitely don't have. Yes.
It's like
Usually you don't belong in old if you're new.
Yes.
You got anything, Keith?
I can't think of anything offhand.
Do you have anything, Susie?
No.
All right, we're gonna move on to employee comments. So what we got, Richard?
Well, we have residents in town complaining of potholes that I'm trying to work on.
Okay.
I'm only one person, please be patient with me, I'm trying.
Okay.
Have several projects going on that I'm working on. Have some underlying things that need to be talked about.
Did the fountain thing work?
Oh, the fountain, I'm working on that, it's not working currently. I believe the pump has gone out on it.
Yeah, we've talked about that. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
so
I'm
I know about it.
gonna be on that first thing in the morning, taking the pump out to get a new one put in.
I had my old pool pump.
I think that our 4th of July event went off pretty well. Everybody had a good time. The parade went off really well. I didn't hear of any complaints about that. Just
I
things are
did
going
cover,
and we're working on it.
I
Okay.
did cover the storm drain in front of my house when the parade went by, so
So
no
the candy didn't go down in
there.
there. Good job, Dave. Good
A
job.
lot of
Okay.
candy went down there last year.
Don't wanna feed the turtles or the alligators?
Or the clown. There's a
Not
clown in
clown.
that one. So
Yeah.
okay, we're gonna move from
Just in
employee.
that one, eh?
We're gonna move from employee comments back to new business for something real quick for Miss Amy Rowe that sort of slid in the door over there.
Welcome, welcome.
I was on city council duty in Rochester on housing development. So, as you know, Justin Vining is out there doing a lovely job, and so very excited about the mural that he's working on. As a point of reference, did you get my press release to put that out in the Reach? I sent you an email.
Oh, I have not gotten it yet.
Okay,
So-
I know you're busier than one arm
Right.
paper hanger.
Right.
So, and yes, I reused that. So,
Yeah.
if you could send out a Reach alert to
Yes.
everybody.
For this coming
If
Saturday?
you did not, if you didn't get the press release, just let me know. I sent it to the email that I read. Whether I got it right or not, I don't know. So I can resend it if needed.
Okay.
But we will be having the mural celebration here in Remembrance Park from 10 to 12 noon. Susie and I'm dragging Susie, I'm driving probably because I don't think she can drive yet. So Susie and I are going to Valparaiso tomorrow to go pick up the donuts because Family Express is donating donuts and water, but we have to go pick them up. So we are taking a road trip over to Valparaiso to go do that tomorrow. And then we will have, I think, juice. I am going to get iced coffee
Okay.
because the county's going to pay for that. I got special approval to
Good.
pay for that. In addition, a special thank you to Alderfer Bergen and Company, as well as Representative Craig Snow through Sylvius Insurance. We are also going to have live radio. So WRSW will be here to broadcast live for 2 hours from
Maybe
here.
TV.
What was that?
I haven't heard back yet. Maybe TV.
And maybe TV. So we're just trying to do some fun stuff. So we'll have 6 spots in which Heath and Susie and whoever else, Justin probably, we'll have to figure out who we want to have be on the radio just to share, maybe a resident, maybe a kiddo. But we're excited to be able to provide that for some positivity and excitement for Etna Green. And then we'll have a ribbon cutting from the K County Chamber, so we'll have to do that as well. So I will put an agenda together. I'll send that to you.
Okay.
I'm assuming. I'll send that to you so you have the agenda of what time everything's happening. Susie and I will figure that out while we're driving tomorrow, the final agenda items. We do need to make sure that the tents are out there, or at least tables and chairs. I don't know who's gonna do that.
Richard?
Richard, do we have tents?
Good question. Good
I might have
question.
one down here in the warehouse if we
'Cause
need
what we
one. Do you have
did-
don't you have another little canopy, the one that we could use?
I like a 10 by 10 canopy that we can use,
Okay.
yes.
What I envision is what we did for the HELP, when the HELP event was here on, when you're looking at the Remembrance Park to the left-hand side, we had some tables with chairs and then a couple tents for people who don't handle the heat well, also to put the food under. And then on the right-hand side, I was thinking of putting whatever the WRSW there. I'm assuming that's where the electricity is, if they need that connection.
That'll be
point.
out here in
In the
Remembrance
Remembrance
Park?
Park,
Okay,
like we did for, do you remember Keith?
No,
were you
I
there
didn't
for the
make
HELP?
it.
Okay,
yeah.
What about one enclosed trailer?
an enclosed trailer for,
10 by, yeah, it's 8 by 28.
are we
We
gonna,
could back it up into here and put that down and put stuff in there, or
if you want to, yeah.
Well, it's either that or I have a 10 by 10
Well, I
canopy.
think the tent
if
would be
he's,
nice just for the
for the
flow
air?
of the air, if we can, just on that left-hand side, just a couple tents at the front side and some tables at the back if that's possible. I will be here to help set
Okay.
up. I'm gonna come early, I can
Okay.
help.
We've got 3 canopies.
Okay. And then I can come help, I mean, I'll be here early to help set everything up before 10 o'clock, so, but I'll get that agenda together and we'll
make sure
get a
you're
plan.
early because you're always late.
Well,
Yeah.
early for my version, late for us early. If I say 9, it's gonna be 9:15, just as a
Do
point
you
of
be here at
reference.
6:30 in the morning?
I'm not
so
getting here
that
that
way I
early.
know you're here at 8 o'clock.
And if you're here at 6:30 in the morning, I'll buy you breakfast at 7.
We go to the cafe, right?
Bingo. I got
So-
a regular seat on Saturday.
Yeah, so I know it's gonna be, it's just, hopefully it will be a fun time and a nice honoring of all the hard work that the community's been doing, a nice celebration of Etna Green and its spirit. I'm gonna cry, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I love you guys so much. I do have to say, I asked Justin to come in, but he said he's working really hard, but it was really sweet to listen to him because one of the things that he said was, this took a lot longer than expected. This is probably the hardest project I've ever done, and it's a mural. I'm like, wow, this took a lot longer than expected, but that's okay. All good things are worth the wait, but Justin, the credit is due to Justin because he stayed the course with us and, he made it happen. And one of the things he just said to me out there was, I thought I was giving back to the community by doing this. And he said, sorry, in the last 2 or 3 days, he said, the community has given back to me. He said, and I said, you're gonna say this on the radio, right? Because he was talking about the people that stopped by to tell about the train stories and the downtown stories and all the stories about Etna Green that he said there are things that I never knew about Etna Green, even having grown up here, that he learned by just being out here. So thanks to everybody for being so kind to him, and we're gonna have some fun and then we're gonna, eat donuts. So sorry for crying.
I know I've heard of a few people say of how fast it's going from blank piece going up there and then getting filled in and be done. That it's just amazing how quickly now it's finally moving along.
Yeah.
That it's really great.
Yeah, Justin's done this a couple
He is
times.
basing that off of those 2 photos.
Yes,
isn't he?
it was the photos
Yep.
that were chosen
Yep.
by the council. If you remember, I think you guys are
Those
always
two
here,
right
so I'm
there.
assuming you were here when we had Susie and I presented, I think 7 or 8 photos, and those were the pictures that were chosen, and so he's making those into a postcard / postage stamp because it's a post office, so.
He told me that yesterday when I was talking to him, that the little things, he got the idea since it's a post office, then the stamps have the little thing
Yes.
around the old ones, so he put those around there for the little kids so
Yeah,
they can paint
to do,
inside
yep,
the little
kids will
things.
have an opportunity, so if you know any kids, make sure they come out, because they will be able to paint. He said, whatever the kids do, he can undo, so if
He
it
can
gets
undo,
messed too,
right.
he said he can fix it. So
Are
we're
they
not worried about them
half
being
penny
messy.
Right.
So, but thanks to the council for, staying the course and making that happen as well, so.
Thank you for all your hard work
Well, I feel like
Continuous.
this, yeah,
for
you know,
several
it's,
years.
Both of you guys.
yeah, no good project is gonna be easy, and I think that it's a perfect time for Etna Green to have a moment of celebration, and they deserve it, and we all deserve to do it together, and so, one day at a time.
Hopefully it's a beautiful day for it.
Yeah, it looked like it was raining. I don't even want to look anymore. It looked like it was like 50% rain, but I'm not going to look at that anymore. I'm just going to pray to Jesus. I'm logging complaints and stuff.
Weather changes every day.
It does, so. That's my report. You already talked about park stuff, right?
Park stuff, which park stuff?
The park
Walking.
project.
Brooks.
Yeah.
We changed the contractor over, I mean,
Did you talk about the totality of everything?
the
The LOI that we submitted?
remind me all these abbreviations. Me and Chris and you have all been working on all
Yeah.
the paperwork for the grant process. Me and Chris only have just a couple little things, and
Minor.
so we have
Minor.
this now, so we can put this into there. That Brooks has been picked. I can call call Clay up and make sure that he's not pulling out on us as far as on that goes. All I gotta do is click a button and submit that, and we should be
Good to go, except for the final stage. which we'll
except for
worry
the
about.
final
Yeah.
stage, but that's going to be our last stage. So
Yeah.
to bring everybody up to date, the walking path is going to be our first stage. Then we're going to have a second and a third stage. But we got to get this pavement down. We got to get the walking path. Then we can pick out lights and bushes and stuff to go around there. We're going to try and upgrade some of the equipment depending on the budget. And that's the third process.
And we may need some public input. We don't know what
Yes,
the process looks
yes.
like for that, but just be prepared. There's going to be some potential public input that's
Yes.
required for the grant. So you may be asked for your opinion. We haven't figured out what that looks like quite
Like
yet,
what
so.
kind of equipment that might be
I don't know,
lying
we have
around?
to, we're trying to focus on the first things
We've
that,
gotta get the
grant
first
does
stage done, yes.
require
Yeah.
public input, so at that stage, once we know what the process looks like, then we'll communicate that, but.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks to Chris for being, Heath's +1 on that, to get that done, so, but, yeah.
We're getting there, we're getting the things done.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Susan.
Okay, does the council have any comments?
Well, you did done a lot with the bureau over there.
Does the council have any comments?
Nope.
Does anybody here have any comments, anything they wanna talk about? Alright, I make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
Second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now I can go eat my pizza.
Go eat your pizza, I thought you were gonna come up here and sing for us.
Just don't let him on the table.